Hello, welcome to the Boy Band Top 10, a teenage girl's world of wonder. Speaking of which...
It seems that every now and again in the pop world, along comes either a group or a single singer and gets the full force of the pop mania.
What boy bands do is they come along in a girl's life when she is at her most vulnerable and hormonal.
When girls are about 11 or 12, the boys they know seem so disgusting and horrible, always spitting and passing wind and whatnot.
You didn't see me do that, right?
It's hard to really become aroused by a woman going...
It's nice being pinned down by a load of girls. Love it. I loved it. I mean, what 17-year-old boy wouldn't?
Listen.
I love you.
Say what you mean.
We'd have 300 Germans, Italians, Scandinavians stood on your front drive singing your songs all night.
Achtung, boy bands. As long as there have been screaming boy-crazed girls like this, there have been pouting pretty boy pop stars like this.
A boy band means 5, 4, 3, 2 good-looking guys who have been chosen more for their looks than anything else.
It's basically a machine for getting money out of the parents into the hands of the teenage girl, out of the hands of the teenage girl, into the hands of the record company.
Boy bands are generally manufactured, often recruited through an advert in The Stage or another national paper.
The boy band is usually created by a record company, by a manager, by an entrepreneur. He goes out and finds boys, usually not already together, but sometimes, packages them, photographs them, does videos, gets an image, and oh yes, you need a song too. I mean, the music comes last.
Tonight's journey through the years takes in the best and worst as we count down, based on UK singles success, the classic boy bands of all time.
Our first boy band were famous for their dancing. Originally they were cool and groovy, but they got kidnapped by Just 17 magazine and never released. They were the Sloane Rangers boy band, a band so posh their lead singer's name sounded like a French porn film about a clown.
I was in a pizza restaurant in Chelsea on Kings Road, and suddenly I heard a song playing, and I went up to the barman and I said, "Excuse me, that's a great song. Who's the singer?" He said, "It's those guys down the bar." So I walked up to them and I said, "Well, do you have a manager?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, I'm your manager."
Remember the 80s? A time when 4 good-looking boys from trendy West London gate-crashed the big time. Thanks in no small part to that thing on Ben's head.
I spent the next 2 years trying to take that cap off him. And you remember he had a cap that he wore back to front. And I used to say to him, no girls would ever fancy a singer who has a hat, because I think you're bald.
It's just a Greek fisherman's hat. Never used to like my hair, because it always looked too neat and too nice, or like too rubbish.
Andy Warhol, and yes, that really is Andy Warhol, directed their first video after some arch blagging by the Cat's road manager.
We gate crashed the Warhol exhibition in some gallery in London, and I went up to the door, introduced myself, said, "Would you as an artist like to work with 4 other artists?" And he was like, he looked at his manager, looked at me, goes, "Sure."
But while now guaranteed longer than the average 15 minutes of fame, the band's lofty art house ambitions made them as out of place in the world of teen pop marketing as Mr. Wiggy was in their video.
There was always something about Curiosity that I really liked, and I would never have classed them as a standard boy band. They were just a bit edgier than all the rest of the bands that were around at the time.
People think that it was just, our audience were just sort of screaming girls, but it was actually very much a split audience. There was a group of West London girls or whatever, posh totty, but there was also West London guys, you know, posh whatnots.
Extremely wonderful. They're bound to make the entire nation sweat. It's curiosity killed the cat.
The public and press sensation surrounding our feline friends was made worse as the band, and Ben in particular, started attracting the interest of fellow celebs.
Well, I met her one day when we went to do an interview for a show that she had on Channel 4. It's called Sex with Paula. I like to play around. Sweat a bit.
Sweat a bit. You're certainly doing that today.
Their rock and roll lifestyle kept Ben and Co. in the headlines, and they ensured maximum tabloid outrage when they resorted to pharmaceutical aid to ease the trauma of meeting Timmy Mallet.
There's an...
Down to earth.
Yeah! Fantastic! Down to earth. You did it in the time, so you get the whack pack, and who sings it? Curie.
There was lots of Christmas puddings from a pantomime running around going, ooh, and we'd taken something which changed our perception slightly. Okay, yeah, we did acid.
And magic like that, he's chewing away all the way through that song, that's great.
Hey, how you doing? I'm sorry you couldn't get through, 'cause this is a message that's been recorded, especially for you.
Inevitably, curiosity got the better of our chums as their refueling habits took their toll.
I left the band because I wanted to stop taking drugs. I was about to become a father, and I used to see sort of these guys around and doing drugs and having children around it, and I just didn't want to do that.
We were a democracy. Like I say, we all wrote the songs. Everyone wrote their part, and we had this sort of pact that after someone left, we weren't going to call it Curiosity Killed the Cat anymore or whatever, which hence we call it Curiosity.
Their name had shrunk, they needed help remembering lyrics, things were going monkey, and their record company was even more confused about their latest direction than the band.
We thought we were going to release one certain single, and we turned up at the TV station, and it was like some other single. I think we turned up for Jim Will Fix It or something.
Caroline here from Tolworth in Surrey. She wanted to dance like Ben from Curiosity Killed the Cat.
And what happened was that the A&R man had gone home the night before and had a bad dream about it. So decided to release a different single.
The final straw came when Ben was forced to share centre stage with Kevin, the teenager.
We still all see each other now and again. Earlier this year we did The Lottery. We played one song, The Lottery.
And hanging out on clouds beneath.
Funny enough, we didn't get any calls about it.
Oh, how about that?
Our next boy band was the first boy band. Thousands auditioned to be in this group, including the serial killer Charles Manson, only he wasn't weird enough.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get funny.
You had to sing, you had to improvise, you had to act. And that's in a way what the Monkees was. It was a musical comedy on television.
Hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around.
Was it a TV show? Was it a rock and roll group? I don't have any idea. I don't know.
We became 4 musicians and 4 actors. Instead of 2 and 2, we became actors and musicians.
I've often thought it's like if Leonard Nimoy really became a Vulcan.
And we got something to say.
I heard a voice from on high tell me to get out of town. So I left town and signed on with the Monkees, and the rest is a hysterectomy.
We have a lot of zany stuff on this program, don't you think?
The swinging 60s. The British had reinvented pop, and for once the Americans had to copy us. Hollywood producers Bob Raffleson and Bert Schneider wanted a boy band and decided to build their own on the telly. In walked a folk singer, a former child actor, the heir to a stationary fortune, and a failed jockey from Manchester.
Hey, Davey, you want to know something? Honestly, hold it for a second. What? I really think you should have done a job.
They shuffled us until they got a combination they thought would work. They asked me to bring my character in. You remember him? I'm back. Was anybody gone while I was here?
The cast was in place, but they needed songs. The show's producers hired pop genius Don Kirshner to write them.
Take the last train to Pottsville and I'll meet you at the station.
The TV show never got great ratings, which surprised me. It was the records that were really the big hit and got most of the notoriety.
Donnie had the emotions of a 13-year-old and kept saying, I know what 13-year-olds like. What he didn't say was it's because it's what I like. And he liked simple pop tunes, and he knew a good simple pop tune when he heard it, and he was right.
He certainly was. Kirshner got Neil Diamond to write the made-up monkey band a transatlantic chart topper.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
But did they or didn't they play on those hits? Critics gossiped, but to the pop pretenders, they were all missing the point.
Nobody played their own music. The Mamas and the Papas didn't play their own music. They had people playing it.
Still, the Monkees were miffed and vowed to prove these chimps were no chumps by writing their own songs. While on tour in the UK, Mickey was inspired by a gobby cockney.
I was watching an episode of Till Death Do Us Part, and I didn't know what it was really all about because I'd only just got here, but the father, Alf, says to the young boy,
Look, leave her alone, you dirty scarskin.
I thought, well, that's kind of a cool name. Wonder what the hell that means, you know. But I'll name my song that because I happen to be writing it at the moment.
That would mean an American horny liver puddlian jerk. We got word back from the English record company. Again, you couldn't say that. You couldn't do it. So they said, you need an alternate title. So I said, okay, it's alternate title.
The accidental pop stars now wanted even more creative control over their music, but songwriter Kirshner still wanted to do it his way.
And he also said, you know, you guys have got to sing and you got to play like we say to do it. Just get a grip, pal.
They didn't like it. And so the easy way they thought they would get rid of me at the time was by firing me. Only time I ever got fired.
Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and
Ironically, they didn't write their last UK top 10 hit. By '68, the TV show had been axed, and Talk decided it was time to escape the cage.
As a white knight on his steed.
And I wanted to be in a real live band. That was about the music for me. The three of them went on for most of another year, but it was pretty feeble.
These Vietnamese refugees certainly appreciated their efforts.
Then saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind.
Michael inherited his mother's liquid paper patent, avoided the countless reunion tours, had one solo hit, and invented MTV. He did, honest. Mickey became a top TV producer, among his credits Metal Mickey, robot comedy at its best. Davey has resurrected his career as a jockey, and on February the 1st, 1996, won the 3:15 at Lingfield. Fact.
As they go to the last half furlong, and Dick Past is going to hold on all right for David Jones.
While Peter has become a hit on the cruise liner cabaret circuit.
We'll be back with more hype Hysterian hits after the break, but first, this.
Every man wants to be a macho, macho man. Just have the time to buy
I don't think anybody who's smart in this business would underestimate the pink pound. It's an enormous market. It's also a very loyal market.
Quite simply, gay clubs, by their very nature, have more money than straight clubs because gay people tend to go out a lot more.
I think Take That, I would say, is probably the first boy band that actually openly admitted to having a gay following.
I wanted to find a market for these young lads, and obviously the gay clubs were the first port of call because they would pay 500 quid a night for an unknown band because they were pretty boys prancing about.
I mean, there is a big connection between the gay market and the teen market, and it's that whole thing of fancying someone and wanting them. At the end of the day, gay men are a more loyal fan base. With a gay man, they're at a certain age where they can decide what they like and they'll stick with it.
And retaining this loyalty is a priority for today's Zone Full of Boys, with a host of chart favourites having performed on the gay circuit in the past year.
There's this guy that I want to get into the shower. Yeah, he's cute and he's smart and funny, but that's not why I want to get him in the shower. He has a slight imperfection, dandruff, and because I want to run my fingers through his hair, I want to help him. I mean, I've been there, and I know all he needs is Head and Shoulders, and he'll never have dandruff again. So his hair will always be perfect to play with. Now all I have to do is get him in the shower. How hard can that be?
Head and Shoulders. Don't let dandruff get in your way.
Take one fresh and tender kiss. The memories you gave me. At one stolen night of bliss.
Frank.
One girl, one boy.
So where is he?
Some grief, some joy, memories.
Come on, get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Don't
put him on. We're running this marathon together, father and son.
Dad, it's Sunday.
The Peugeot 306. It's a family thing.
Hello! We Swedes love nothing more than the crayfish party. And to catch the biggest crayfish, you need a really juicy bait. But that's a real man's job, which leaves us to enjoy the vodka. Björn! Let the bait wiggle and be quick. And then, clips.
The future is coming. You gotta catch it if you can. The magic's unfolding, and you can hold it in your hand. We can touch tomorrow today. Make some memories that never fade away.
Come and make memories that'll last a lifetime at our year-long Millennium Celebration.
Celebrate the future hand in hand.
For a free video that'll make planning your magical Walt Disney World holiday in Florida both easy and fun, just call 08705 000 000 today.
The Sainsbury's Be Good to Yourself lower fat range offers you a variety of choices, such as this 99% fat-free soup, or this 95% fat-free chicken dish, and this 95% fat-free sponge pudding. With over 250 choices, it's too tasty to keep to yourself.
Sainsbury's, making life taste better.
Oh, it's so hot out there. Does anyone fancy a mint?
No.
No.
No. Tic Tac, anyone? One tiny Tic Tac refreshes my breath for 2 hours and only 2 calories. Tic Tac, always in mint condition.
Get healthy. Get beautiful.
Get seen. Get real. Get reality. The new weekly magazine on modern living in a new look, independent on Sunday.
The Peugeot 306 Meridian from £11,995 with air conditioning and 3 years of warranty.
Before we continue, a special mention to a family who didn't make our top 10, but who helped kickstart the whole boy band genre. They didn't achieve superstar status until after their boy band days, but the Brothers Jackson were once pure pop, pushed by their pop, Joe, onto the stage. After 3 years as one of Motown's biggest acts, they grew up and moved on. But of course it was little Michael, whose frankly weird journey from child to adult ensured he was the one who retained all the screaming girl fans.
I'm not like other guys.
The most popular boy band of the 70s were like the Wombles, but without the sexual threat. Parents thought they were harmless, but teenage girls realised they were repressed cauldrons of steaming desire.
Well, I think they're the nicest pop group, the nicest family we've ever had in this hotel. Really nice boys they are.
We're the Osmonds Brothers Quartet. We love to sing, you bet. So hello to everyone. Hi there.
Our so-called boy band has lasted over 40 years.
We knew we were going into a business that was flawed with immoral things and things that are, you know.
These two girls mailed themselves to us in a box. Yeah, amazing. A great big crate. The two girls were inside there.
We love the Lord Jesus Christ, and we are true believers of his program and his plan.
To the world's girls, the Osmonds were once a six-headed knobbing machine, fighting for wall space with David Cassidy and the Jacksons. Yet deep down, they were just nice boys from Utah who liked to sing.
Singing harmonies together is something that just kind of happened.
The Osmonds got their break with a weekly TV slot on the Andy Williams Show. By '67, with little brother Donnie on board, they struck out on their own, restyled as the white answer to the Jackson 5. US chart success followed. Then they brought their brand of Mormon mania over here.
The UK will always be a memory chip in my brain as an experience that I'll never forget. I remember Paul McCartney telling us that it was as big as he's ever seen it. And to hear it from one of the Beatles was an amazing, amazing thing.
The Wham metal Osmonds had cracked the UK top 5. But censors abroad thought their pony track was about smack.
Funny thing about Crazy Horses, in South Africa, horses means heroin, I guess. So the Osmonds were banned in South Africa singing a drug song, which I thought was quite unique.
Keep on listening, it's all I'm wrong. What a show, there they go, smoking up the sky.
Crazy Horses are the automobiles and buses and whatever else that burns fuel and causes this atmosphere to go bad.
Crazy Horses is a song that will always be with us. I don't know, maybe I'll have that played at my funeral.
Crazy Horses and even crazier fans, who were, in a very real sense, man-eating berserkers.
A little girl done that this morning. Coming in, stopped and she bit me.
Clearly attracting the wrong type of fan, the brothers decided to soften their hard man image, and in doing so, had their biggest UK hit. But soon, one set of gleaming Mormon molars was starting to outshine the rest.
Donnie was the individual that everybody wanted to spotlight. The teen magazines, the television show, it all gravitated to Donnie.
And they called it puppy love. Oh, I guess they'll never know.
Can you tell me why you're crying?
I want Johnny Osmonds. Who do you want? Johnny Osmonds.
His success was our success. But later on, you kind of realize, wait a minute, I sacrificed my career to build somebody else's, you know. And even though it's your brother, there's still a bit of pain there, isn't there?
Someone help me. Help me. Help me, please.
Donnie was given everything and had everything and then lost it all because the media and the critics turned against him.
And tragically, so had his hairdresser. Poor Donnie's post-puppy career has been dogged by accusations of rubbishness and even stage fright and panic attacks.
Close my eyes.
Still, he did land a dream job on Broadway, playing that other symbol of sibling rivalry, Joseph. The other brothers have poured their energies into the Osmond Family Theatre in Branson, Missouri, where it's always full house.
What's special about Branson is the family-oriented shows that are here. You don't find 40 theaters all doing family-type entertainment. If anything negative comes into this town, it pretty well gets thrown out. That's what's unique about Branson.
I want a good old-fashioned girl. A girl to be all mine.
If the whole world would just get closer as families, there'd be no crime, there'd be no problems in the world, not whatsoever, because that's what God initially outlined, is the family.
And that's well done, boys. That's real well done.
And now for the baddest boy band of all, which isn't very bad at all. They smoked, they drank, they wore enormous trousers, and frankly, they have a lot to answer for.
I saw the Jacksons, it was in December of 1969. They were on the Ed Sullivan Show. And that day changed my life when I saw the Jackson 5. I said, that's a magical number, 5.
Morris Starr first realized the magic of 5 with New Edition. Sadly, when they fell out, he went looking for some new kids.
Maurice certainly had a vision, you know, and even when nothing was happening, he'd go, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be big, you know?
Starr's vision was of 5 street kids from Boston who still love their mammies.
She couldn't stand the gyrations, the doing the pumping and the grinding. What are you doing the pumping and the grinding?
But the marketing mix worked to dream. Tough guy Donnie, choir boy Joey, and 3 missing links. Wholesome family entertainment.
It was somewhat our fault and somewhat the press's fault, because every article they would say we were squeaky clean. We were like, when did we ever say we were squeaky clean, you know?
New Kids had real gracious fans, and they were good people. So they were people that the mothers knew, they listened to the lyrics to the songs, and so the mothers had approved this group. So New Kids were a stamp of approval for the whole family.
Well, their lyrics are good and clean. They don't do any lewd acts on the stage like a lot of the other popular rock groups.
But this image was at odds with their rough and ready upbringing.
New Kids on the Block came from a tough district of Boston. They'd been brought up in that atmosphere of gang violence, gang fighting, fighting over territories and things. So they were a tough bunch of individuals anyway. But I think that gave them a kind of edge. Perhaps it was the wrong edge to be a boy band with.
And the one kid who couldn't handle this cutesy image was Donnie. Oh, he proved how hard he was by letting off a fire extinguisher in a hotel.
Donnie was the great defender. He didn't want people treating him like he was, you know, this cute little teeny bopper. He wouldn't let someone disrespect him on his corner or on his block. So why let somebody do it just because you sold some records?
Stop filming! I know one time a guy spit on Donnie, and Donnie said, you know, why'd you spit on me? And he said, yeah, I don't think you New Kids on the Block, I just think y'all are a bunch of fags, and, you know, and so Donnie got in a fight with him.
He lost, presumably, and although Donnie might have been for real, live, the New Kids were more like Milli Vanilli.
We definitely sang on our records. That was us. But yeah, at the beginning we certainly lip synced. I mean, when we were on the road, we had a tape. I mean, and when a tape went bad, we went to the store, bought another tape, and pressed play.
Well, I guess it's a brand new day after all. Every time we hear the curtain call.
They went through a brutal time of being accepted and respected for what they did. And I said to them, you know, if you guys are black, you wouldn't be having this problem. Because there was a tradition, and still is, of black vocal groups that goes back to the Four Tops, to the Temptations, to the girl groups, the Shirelles, the Supremes. They sang and they danced, and they didn't play a note.
So, well, that's that explained. An accident of birth meant the boys could never become the new Supremes. Instead, they had to make do with sacking their manager and hilariously failing to improve on what had gone before.
You know, my worst selling album with them was about 6 million copies. And you know the difference between 6 million and 100,000. Without me, they sold less than 100,000.
Granted, he wrote great songs for us and produced it, and without him, there wouldn't be a New Kids. But people didn't give us enough respect for what we did.
In their quest for respect, they relaunched themselves as an anagram of knob. Sort of. But when they became the New Kids on the Piss and turned up mullered on a kids' show, it was the beginning of the end.
Let me see, you got it written down? There, in the blue. No one told us.
Oh. Which state does no.
Since the group's tragic demise, Donnie's followed his brother Marky Mark's footsteps onto the silver screen. He played a nutter in The Sixth Sense. And Jordan, the old kid, has gone on to enjoy solo success.
I'm proud of what we did, and it feels good, you know, it's kind of an honor to see that other groups were influenced by us.
In many ways, the blockheads are to blame for the look and sound of every boy band since. Look at Six Piece, Morris's latest work of mathematical genius. No, really, look at them.
This band had it all. Blonde hair, cheekbones, identical twins. In the beginning, they were so rich, their lawnmowers were made by Maserati. In the end, they were so poor, their Maseratis were made by Matchbox.
If it's true that the bigger they are, the harder they fall, then Bros must have been very big indeed.
Bros were an incredibly naff group. I mean, they were really a triumph of kind of pimples over pop talent.
Goss twins Matthew Wesley and Luke Darren and their mate Craig, certainly knew how to make an impact.
What was my first opinions of them? Pompous, arrogant, illiterate, naive.
They had long, curly blonde hair, except for Craig, but his was long as well, and they just looked really bizarre.
Tom wanted them to look more Aryan, which is sort of like a Hitler Youth thing, blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, and they were stunning boys.
They were very heavily manipulated and redesigned by us. I mean, the way they came to us with long hair and sparkly Lurex suits and a sub-Michael Jackson kind of vein was totally unsuitable for what they ended up looking like with ripped jeans and bright red leather jackets and big boots with bottle tops on them.
Tom wrote the lyrics and I wrote the tune. We did this thing called When Will I Be Famous, and the boys didn't want to do it because it was high energy and it was too clubby for them, and we had to sort of dupe them into doing it.
I think they always wanted to be famous. I mean, although that was the first song, it actually sums them up, you know, and when they did become famous, I think they just thought they'd arrived, really, and they just thought it would go on and on and on and on and on.
They opened up an HMV, you know, opening in Oxford Street, and Oxford Street was completely closed off, and the police were ringing us up going crazy. You couldn't move, and it just grew from there.
I was amazed at what went on and the pressure that these guys were under. I mean, they would go out for dinner, and invariably there would be maybe 6 or 7 convoys of cars behind them. They started getting death threats from certain fans. I know the boys' families and their homes were threatened. There was times when it was scary.
No! No!
Did you expect fame to come so quickly?
No.
Matt was great with little licks, you know, he'd go, "Ah!" But Luke didn't do anything. He would come into the studio and he'd hear how the things were going, and he'd get in his little Jeep that he'd just bought and he'd go off up the King's Road and pose for a bit, and then come back to the studio and say, wow.
And Matt is a great singer. Luke's drumming.
It's a really terrible drum, really.
The twins' success meant that Craig was now surplus to requirements. His health was suffering, and he finally threw in the towel after being twatted by Luke in Japan.
We always felt hugely sorry for Craig because he was very much misused, abused, and generally kicked around. And he was a very intelligent bloke.
You've got to understand that they were at school together, and he was the kind of, you know, well, you can be in the band if you want, you know, we'll let you be in the band sort of thing, and he was constantly reminded of that.
Oh, come on, he's laughing. He got a £1 million handshake from the band, which enabled him to recoup and recover from an illness that had actually forced him out of the band. Greg Logan is now working for a hugely successful management company. He's developing his own acts, and he is creatively active within the music industry. Are Matt and Luke?
Well, I'm warning these two. If they want one of these, they want to try some of this. But I don't think you do, fellas, do you, really?
A recipe for disaster, perhaps? Without Craig, the Wibbling siblings set about becoming serious artists. First step, that difficult, or as it turned out, suicidal second album.
Matt suddenly announced that he'd written a whole bunch of songs, and we went in the studio and we just very, very roughly put down his ideas, and I played them to Tom, and Tom said, oh my God.
They imagined in the second album that they could write all these things themselves, and as a consequence the album did absolutely nothing. The advice I was often told was to shove it up my arse, so fine. I ain't gonna row about it, you know. Next, as far as I'm concerned.
By now, their teen fan base had realised that the brothers were pants. The Bros phenomenon was over as quickly as it had begun. But the boys had been spending like billio during their whirlwind brush with fame, and were left penniless after a succession of failed attempts to regain their #1 status.
4 schools, 3 snakes, 2 cross, and 1 spiders.
These days, Matt is back in the recording studio stateside, whilst Luke has starred in the stage play of the worst film ever made.
Not only did they plummet out of the charts, but they lost most of their fortune in the process. Their audience has since grown up and may not be too sympathetic.
What do you think about this group, Bros? Sorry, you're not with it.
We're not with it. Oh dear. Bros might have looked young, but they were positively middle-aged by this sort of standards. See you after the break.
Barely out of short trousers, these winsome siblings named themselves after a match of the day pundit. Didn't they know? Oh, you can never win anything with kids. God, remember this? I thought not. These particular bad apples did their best to spoil the whole Osmond bunch. Next! This is more like it. Cute and cuddly brummies bunking off school to top the charts with a song about Dad's puff pipe. Or was it Mum's cooking pot?
You know, I'll have a... Thanks, man.
Clearasil, face the facts. An independent institute has conducted a survey amongst teenagers for Clearasil. The results were surprising. After just 8 weeks of washing twice daily, 9 out of 10 teenagers using Clearasil Complete rated its effectiveness at fighting spots as good or very good. Clearasil Complete, all you need to help beat spots.
Shepherd's pie and Heinz baked beans, specially combined in one delicious meal. Wouldn't it be lovely?
Natural, not too perfect. Full and curly.
It has to look like you want to touch it.
What is beautiful hair?
That's easy.
Beautiful hair is a matter of opinion. How you get it is a matter of fact. It starts with healthy looking hair, the kind you get from Pantene shampoo, conditioners and styling products. They give hair all it needs to be beautiful, whatever that is.
Long hair's great.
What?
Short's good too.
That's better. Love your hair, Pantene.
ayilunganga yonke le ezi zinto azifuni ukuba lapha edrobhini kanti apha emaphandleni siyakwazi ukuzibalekela ngendlela efanelekileyo. Freelander iyakwe nguLand Rover.
If something matters to you, it still matters at 35,000 feet. So be good to yourself. Fly Emirates.
With the Woolwich, you can have a mortgage and a separate account that brings together your credit card bills and personal borrowing with all repayments at mortgage rates. Open plan borrowing with the Woolwich. If you're without, ring 0845 607 1111.
I hear you have a new Chinese menu using the recipe of the ancients. That recipe will be mine! No, wait! I'll show you!
With the evil one defeated, the Chinese menu is now at McDonald's.
I think what boy bands tell us about teenage female sexuality is, you know, the great capacity of advanced capitalism to make money out of absolutely all of our psychological states.
I was waiting here for 5 hours and it's my birthday and Robbie Williams didn't even come near us. He just walked straight past and went to everyone else.
The boys do actually look a bit puffy, frankly. You know, they do look very pretty. They look as if they're effeminate, almost, you know, female males.
I'm feeling very, 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 very horny.
If they actually meet Robbie Williams in the flesh, it is a fantastic shock to the system because they built up this fantasy person who they can control, who is their little dolly, their sort of My Little Pony sort of boy band. Here is, in the flesh, Robbie Williams, not quite so easy to control. He probably has got a willy, and you're not quite sure what he might do with it.
No, wouldn't even look good on a 16-year-old. Speaking of which, our next band looked hard, like they'd kiss you roughly and then steal your stereo speakers on the way out. But then they did come from the mean streets of Walthamstow.
Straight out of Compton, true boy, if you fuck with me, the police are gonna have to come and get me.
When the record company met us, I think they was looking at like
we've got something we can sell here without even having to adjust anything or change it. Let them wear their baggy clothes, let them walk around with their attitude.
We didn't really want to worry about anything, let alone image.
I don't think you could have ever manipulated them to wear anything other than what they wanted to wear.
Alright, everything's gonna be alright. Alright, everything's gonna be alright. Alright, everything's gonna be alright. Alright, it's really alright.
Like latter-day Artful Dodgers, they came straight out of East London. But the inspiration for their first hit came from more distant shores.
One love, one love.
It was written about the Gulf War the first time round, so there was actually a nice bit of message in there and stuff.
Gotta stop the pain, put the walls on hold, let the power of love inside the soul unfold. Free the mind, let it rise above. We gotta change this world into a world of love.
I didn't really feel a part of the, you know, stop the wars, stop the violence, and I was just about, in them days, you know, I want to do R&B. Do you know what I mean?
I've always been aware that some people don't listen to lyrics at all, you know, but I've never been one. I've always listened to the lyrics. So I kind of put something of interest that makes sense, not like, you know, that I love you and you love me, my teeth are clean and the sky is blue.
And all I did with E17 was offer a contenders to take that.
Tom said, this is your competition. We was like, competition? We don't have competition. This is your competition. And he played this video of these guys in leather thongs, and it was them. And we was like, yeah, right, all right, well, you know, obviously there is no competition.
Take That went to bed with coat hangers in their mouths to wake up with smiles the next morning, and E17 went to bed with any young lady that was available.
They were the mongrels of the boy band world. But what they had over Take That was an edge. They were geezers, you know what I mean? They were a bit woo, woo.
We were the originals with no O.
To the beat, keep moving, never stopping. Though sometimes I feel like dropping. Gotta keep on and be strong. I put the wrong. Cause in this
Tony may have fancied himself as LL Cool J, but for their Christmas #1, he took his cue from Liberace.
I always prefer writing the ballads, and they're easy to write. They're slow, there's hardly any words in it, the melodies are drawn out, and before you know it, you're at the end of 3.5 minutes.
I touch your face while you are sleeping and hold your hand. Don't understand what's going on.
I remember coming out of my nan's house and walking down the road on my own, and I was sort of like, there's all parked cars and that, and I'd sort of just clock myself in a reflection and that, and thinking like, you're #1 in the charts, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I was alright, I got called the writer. Well, that's cool. You know, I was. And Brian got called the lead vocalist. Well, that's cool, he was. So they got called the two at the back, which is not such an easy ride.
People built up this image of, oh, they're the people in the back, they don't do nothing.
Terry the dancer, Johnny on the...
Hey. But then no one said that about Boyzone. You know, I will know that Ronan can sing, Ronan can bust a note or two, but like, you know, look, what about the other ones in the background? No one ever says, what does he do, what does he do?
Brian's high profile got even higher. First thanks to a stormy relationship with a celebrity girlfriend, then an ill-judged admission about ecstasy use.
It is a bad thing, you know what I mean, I don't advise doing it. You know what I mean, it wasn't a clever thing to say, but I was lured into this situation. Yeah, the guy said to me, so, well, I said, what do you want to know, mate? And he said, well, how many have you ever done in a night? Now, I've answered this question before so many times, so I really didn't think it mattered, and Tony was saying stuff, so I thought, well, it must be okay.
When you don't know how to cope with something because you've got no experience of it, you don't know what's happening, so you say something and it goes bang, 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 and you're thinking, oops,
I said to Tony Mortimer and the rest of the crew, if he continues to be in the band, I no longer want to manage you. I will leave. You have a very clear choice. It's either him or me. And I really didn't care. It wasn't some sort of idle threat.
But Tom didn't leave. Brian was forgiven, and he returned to the fold. But it wasn't long before Tony was starting to feel the strain.
I personally couldn't handle it no more, the pressure of it. I was weighing 9 stone, I'm 6'1", you know, I was very ill, so I thought something's got to change here and I've got to look out for me.
Tony's still recording material, while Brian is relaunching himself as a solo artist. Graduates both from the boy band of Hard Knocks.
1 minute you're a plumber, you're in a hole up to here with water, trying to shovel it out. Next minute you're on stage, you've got a little bit of money, everyone knows who you are, and all girls want you, and it was just like, it was brilliant.
There's no boy band ever partied like we did. We could party our socks off, just the 4 of us in the room.
What would you get if you crossed Rupert the Bear with a gonk, our number 4 boy band? Whoever was it decided that half-mast tartan trousers and scarves were erotic. At least with Take That you got lift and separate leopard print jock straps.
I was on the beach once, and I'm fishing, and I see this guy in trouble in the water, and he's trying to jump. I mean, he really looked as if this poor guy had just kind of had enough of it, and I just kind of went in and pulled him back out. And I says, I think you got problems, mate. I used to be a bay city roller.
There was a time long ago in the 1970s when a 5-headed tartan monster ruled the world. It was a time of pure poetry.
In the mid-70s, the Rollers were pretty much the only alternative to real rock groups. There wasn't a whole array of boy bands like we have today.
Different females go for different kinds of guys. Some like dark-haired guys, you know, with tight-fitting trousers with a bulge, and that was basically it.
I was the youngest in the band, so, you know, just lots of energy, ready for anything. If somebody had to jump in the deep end at the pool with all their clothes on for a photo shop, or do a photo shop with just a tartan scarf and nothing else on, that was me. Game for, yeah, no problem. I was 17, 18 at the time.
My first impressions of the other band members were tossers and stuff like that. I didn't think they were very cool. I think even the first night I was fighting with one of them.
What can I say about the next group except, Bay City Rollers?
It had taken 5 years and a flurry of false starts before a settled Rollers lineup found chart success. When it came, McBoom Shankar. Teen hysteria on a level not seen since the Beatles.
Well, Lisa, what do you like special then about the Bay City Rollers?
I like their looks, I reckon they're a good group. They can sing, they can play instruments. They just got talent. And besides, they've got a tartan gimmick, and the Osmonds haven't. You can't go around with the American flag round your arm, can you? So it looks stupid.
They were soft and cuddly, and you could easily imagine bringing them home to meet your mother. And while they were there, they'd probably help you with your homework as well.
They didn't look human, they looked like fetuses. And I found they made me feel physically ill when I saw them on TV.
The Rollermania roller coaster was gathering momentum fast. By spring '75, they even had their own expertly scripted TV show.
Hello and welcome to Shang-a-Lang, which roughly translated means the Bay City Roar. Which means us, I'm Derek. And I'm Eric. And I'm Leslie Richard McEwen.
And I'm Alan. Come on, would you introduce yourself? I mean, you've got to do better than that. This is TV.
But help better.
At the peak of their powers, with the world at their feet, disaster struck when John Craven joined the band.
Everyone is feeling great, apart, that is, from lead guitarist Eric Faulkner, who's unusually quiet. The rest of them tell me that he hasn't been feeling too well lately. Just one of those things, they say, when you're constantly under pressure.
I was doing some speed, and I just took too many downers to get some sleep. I mean, it really was that simple. And but well, I think it was up Tam Paint's house.
So of course I used it as a publicity stunt. Roller overdoses, you know. I phoned the newspaper before I phoned the ambulance.
Tragedy struck again when Les ran over a pensioner. News not taken well by fans or friends.
The concert in Colston Hall, Bristol tonight has had to be cancelled. Better is that Les McEwen has been involved in an accident. I understand that the accident took place just outside.
Well, I felt that I had unleashed a monster upon these kids. I came back here one night, very lonely person, and I spent 5 days on acid here one night, you know, and I took the acid, and eventually I went to hospital and things like that, you know, because I couldn't stop crying for 5 days.
A slightly unorthodox response to a crisis, granted, but Tam's next taste of LSD was loads and loads of stateside dollars. But still, all was not well in the camp, and it spilled over into ugly, mindless violence at a gig in Japan, thanks to self-confessed arse Les.
Being the kind of guy I am, I was just like winding people up at the time just to be spiteful. Everybody on the stage wanted to beat the hell out of me, even the road crew.
They ended up on the stage, and there was this horrendous fight. People swinging mics about, swinging guitars. I couldn't believe what was going on.
Les and myself decided to have a little fight. But we were fighting away, fists going, feet going, lips out to Tam and Alan.
It's quite funny to think about it now, but it was really horrible then.
The party was over. Peyton was soon placed on the dole, while the boys looked forward to early retirement on the proceeds of the biggest teen marketing operation in world history. But despite shifting a staggering 100 million records worldwide, there was no roller's fortune.
I think if you took into account everything these guys did, record sales, merchandising, publishing, you factor all that in, I think there must be in excess of $100 million that's absent.
They're all dreaming, they're living on cloud cuckoo land, all dreaming about money they're going to get. They can stick it with the monkey stuck in its nuts, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think Tam Payton was somebody who, I think he meant them very well and he did his best. I just don't think he was equal to the task. I think he put them where he thought they would get help, and instead of getting help, they got shafted.
Things might be looking up. Singer Courtney Love has recently announced plans to bring the Rollers' tale to the silver screen. Today, the Rollers are still seeking their lost fortune and a return to the charts. They've put years of internal bickering behind them and are making another album together, this time without Tam's help.
This next boy band were different, so much so they had girls in it. Nowadays, the lead singer's a serious solo artist, and the other one's a serious surfer.
Welcome to Top of the Pops. A load of firsts tonight. It's the first chart of November. It's my first Top of the Pops, and it's their first Top of the Pops. Wham!
Top of the Pops is an extraordinary programme because although there's a director and a producer and everything there, nobody ever tells the artist what to do. They just tell the artist, get on with your thing. So if you've got a new artist, he'll be pathetic and hopeless.
Hey, girl.
And here's Wham coming on Top of the Pops, the first time I've ever done it. And they looked like they'd changed the rules. They must have pre-planned everything they would do to make themselves look good on Top of the Pops.
And after seeing Georgios Kyriakos Paneotou and his mate rewrite the rulebook, the Pops Bengali rushed to sign them up.
What Simon Napier Bell wanted to do there was to create a Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid image of two loners who had sort of been brought together by the sheer camaraderie.
But it wasn't always thus. In the early incarnations of Wham, George was less Robert Redford, more Rory McGrath.
When he was 13, he was podgy and had glasses and curly hair, and he met Andrew at school and looked at Andrew and thought, I want to be like that.
George needed to get himself established, to get himself out there, he needed Andrew around him. You know, he needed Pepsi and I, and he needed to be surrounded because he didn't have the confidence at that time in his life to get up and do what he wanted to do.
It was 1983. In recession-hit Britain, we were told to get on our bikes, or whatever it was we went to work on. George avoided the dole queue by singing about it.
Everybody take a look at me. I've got street credibility. I may not have a job, but I have a good time with the boys that I meet down on the line.
Actually, I think that Wham were quite political when they started out. You know, Wham rap is really about the whole 80s recession, the whole anti-Thatcher movement.
You can tell me that I'm not.
What I think it really was a song about championing people on the DHSS in suburbia, where you've got middle-class parents who can help you out.
The same parents who always ended up bankrolling Club 1830s holidays. Inspiration for Wham's anthem to Summer Sun Shag Fests.
For me, I just love when you hear that those high heels on the gravel, and like, you know, when you turn up to a party and you've been really waiting for it, it gives me that feeling.
As Wham's success grew, their critics were suggesting that Andrew's songwriting input was negligible. But he did toss in the odd idea.
Apparently, Andrew left a note on his bedroom door to his mum, and it said, "Wake me up before you go." And so George saw that and thought,
Wake me up before you go, 'cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go, take me dancing tonight.
I think the secret of Wham's attraction is that teenage girls have always, in the back of their minds, liked the idea of male homosexuality. There seemed to be such a flirty interplay going on between them, and I think people found that very attractive.
It looked like Butch and Sundance might ride their separate ways with George's first solo hit.
Should've known better to cheat a friend, wasted chance that I'd been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I danced with you.
But what seemed a new mature direction was in fact an old song written by George and Andrew years earlier.
That was held back for two reasons. One is because it obviously wasn't the right song to launch a teeny bop sort of group. Secondly, it was the song which was likely to break the group up, because it was going to be, if it was a hit, a huge vocal performance from George, and Andrew really would have nothing to do in the imagery of it.
Tonight the music seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd.
Careless Whisper was Epic's first million-selling single, but despite the suspicions that its success might drive the duo apart, they stayed together and set their sights on forbidden territory.
Now, in China, where dancing was illegal until just a year ago, determined boppers are now learning to swing and rock in the best Western style. Disco dancing has become the latest craze, all thanks to the pop group Wham, of course. And the Chinese love it. Look at them.
Although Wham didn't particularly like it in China, it was a fantastic publicity coup for them. I think it helped them enormously in breaking America, and it got them on the front pages of every paper in the world.
Most of the young people in China like pop music songs very much.
That was just about the time after China when George said, "That's it, I really, I want to finish with Wham now, I want to be myself."
Wham split in the summer of '86. George went on to become enormous, though sometimes that got him into trouble.
On April 7th, 1998, at approximately 16:48 hours, Mr. Michaels was arrested for a violation of 647A of the Penal Code, engaging in a lewd act.
Let's go outside in the moonshine.
Why aren't they out catching murderers? Meanwhile, a new-look Andrew settled down with Karen of Bananarama to enjoy the simple Cornish life, surfing and sitting upside down in cars.
And now here's a short break, but first there's a few songs you might not want to admit to liking.
Lock up your daughters and your stereos. It's time to plumb the depths of boy band hell. Or in this case, yell. Oh my God. Behold, the princes of Saturday morning TV.
Together with no one around, long conversations alone in the park. I carried on till way after dark.
And finally, two strapping lads who backflip their way into nobody's hearts.
Taste all the pleasures, go for the ride. This time is yours, Coca-Cola, enjoy. Enjoy.
Coming up, the top two artistes in our boy band top 10. But first, let's dig the new breed, the terrible legacy of boy bands past. Boy bands now. Look at this lot. Coloured contact lenses have never been used to such chilling effect.
I know it's not much, but it's okay. We'll keep on moving on anyway. I believe.
These baby boyzones now look forward to number ones with every release. The luck of the Irish, hey. And here, more misery on the tubes.
Tell me who would have thought I'd find love on the northern line.
Look out for the follow-up single, Pissed Up Tramps and Long Delays.
Outside every boy band, there's 100 gay men trying to get in. And none more so than our number 2 act. They weren't gay, but they sure gave the Pink Pound a good pounding. And when it all went wrong, in classic style, one of them turned to drugs, and in less than classic style, another one turned to pies.
He was called Curtis Rush. I don't know why he was called Curtis Rush, but he was. And he was singing all sorts of dodgy songs in working men's clubs.
I'd taken this tape in and a photograph and seen Nigel and our manager, and I'd say, oh, I write songs as well, and he kind of looked at me with that face of, oh right, another one who writes songs.
However, so impressed was Nigel by Curtis's demo that he immediately earmarked him as the head of his new brainchild, the Take That family.
He's a very solid character, Gary. He'll make a fantastic father. When I decided to do the boy band thing, the first person that came to mind was Mark Owen, because whenever he came in the office, all the girls loved him. Jason and Howard, they were always there to appeal to the older woman. Robbie was the wisecracker. He's such a huge talent. He's like a mad professor.
Nigel had remortgaged his house and made a record with them called Do What You Like. Made this sort of risque video, and it was great, and this is what sort of started it all off.
While video evidence suggests Gary was rightly proud of his Jelly Belly, the first 3 singles flopped.
We were about to be dropped from our record label. It was that bad. We really had to twist their arm into them releasing another record. And we'd recorded a cover version of an old Tavares record, Only Takes a Minute Girl.
Now cross your feet and leap out. Now turn.
It was nothing more than sheer hard work that, you know, the five of us put in to make that record happen. And we realised this was it. We're going to have a hit with this record. And of course, once you have a hit, it's a lot easier from then on.
I could love you, yeah, build my world around you, never leave you till my life is done. Baby, I want you back.
Take That were the first of their kind, and you just couldn't get away from that. Massive, absolutely massive. Hysteria.
All I do each night is pray. Hoping that I'll be a part of you again someday.
The strength of Take That was not really ever in any one member. It was in the sum total of all of them put together.
There was somebody for everybody in Take That.
I think what Back for Good did was it proved that Gary could actually write to order, because we were looking for a track that could launch the band in America.
And it was kind of a cocky time for me as well. So I can do that. Yeah, I can do that, no problem. And I went away and wrote this song, Back for Good.
I guess now it's time for me to give up. I think it's time.
And then it was just stand back and watch. You know, #1 in 26 countries or so. It was just unbelievable, the success of that record. That was the moment, I think, when we all realised, well, that is it. We're going to watch carefully now and decide when to split up.
Gotta leave it all behind now. Whatever I said, whatever I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good.
But one member was to take an early bath, our Robbie, who acrimoniously split from the band in July 1995.
He very cleverly got the sympathy vote by saying I was in this horrible machine that made me millions of pounds and turned me into a star and gave me the opportunity to do what I've always wanted to do, but it's been awful. I mean, what bollocks.
The shell-shocked Fab Four continued touring, but their work lacked a certain direction. The end was just around the corner.
I think Gary Barlow instigated the split of Take That finally. He'd had enough. He wanted to go off and write his own solo album.
We knew we'd had enough. The Greatest Hits was coming out. It was just all perfect. It was just time.
The future of the pop group Take That is unclear after newspaper reports that they're planning to split up.
I organised a press conference, and I think to the moment those boys stood on that stage and said we're splitting, I don't think anyone actually believed they were going to do it.
Unfortunately, the rumours are true. From today, there's no more.
Take That has split?
What question? I don't believe it.
Take That split up.
Young people all over the country felt genuinely devastated. It really is, for them, like losing a member of the family, so they're going through the same feelings of bereavement.
We've come a long way, but we're not too sure where.
Wars are being waged all over the world and the country is in mourning for a pop band. That is the power of a successful band. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. I mean, they still go to the loo, you know.
We'd made it. We'd done 6 years together, and we were we all got on so well that I'd have hated it to have been a situation where someone would have had a fight with somebody. That would have ruined it for me.
Of course, there had already been one fight, and the anti-Barlow had already embarked on the rock and roll lifestyle that would make him a bigger star than ever.
He is a tortured artist. He's tortured himself. You know, drink, drugs, nights out, the wrong women, whatever. That's what makes Robbie a rock star. He's not a pop star now, he's a rock star. He's been promoted.
Meanwhile, Mark's solo career is on hold. Jason Orange is acting, Howard Donald is resting, and Gary's enjoying his royalties.
I loved being in a band because of the contact I had with people every day, and I kind of miss that.
They went through probably what most people would only go through in a lifetime in that 5 years, and I think the sooner all 5 of them get back together and put everything behind them and become friends again, then they can all get on with their lives.
Well, we're almost at the #1 spot, but before we reveal our biggest boy band ever, here's a reminder of the rest of the top 10.
Then there, done hat, Curiosity at 10. Sending Young Girls Bananas, the Monkees at 9. At 8, The Epic Tale of Mormongast with the Osmonds. Billy Goat's Tough, the New Kids at 7. Twin Peaks at 6, Bros. In Trap 5, some Walthamstow dog tracks. McEwen's Pale Males at 4. Nothing bog standard about our #3 duo. And our #2 act was Take That and Parted.
Our #1 band have become so successful, one of them even manages his own pet boy band. And unlike any other boy band in the world, one of them actually is gay. At #1, the boyish band of them all.
Here's a group of guys who I guarantee you're going to see and you're going to hear a lot more of. You'll see why as we welcome Boyzone!
The Boyzone are a consummately professional, slick boy band who never fail to turn in the goods. I think they're brilliant.
Destination, exploration as
Kids love them, older people love them, everyone loves them, everyone loves Boyzone.
Sadly, these plaudits weren't for the chamois leather loincloths and scary hair. That was the Crackerjack Boyzone. No, it's today's young Irish usurpers, so quick to claim the pop throne after their rivals abdicated.
I think that once Take That had collapsed, people were thrashing around for a substitute, and Boyzone just happened to be in place at the right time.
Take That inspired me, really. I just thought they were a great band. I thought, God, I can do that. We auditioned 150 boys, and we got Ronan and Stephen, and we put the other 3 guys around them, and the rest has been history.
What instruments do you play?
Well, I'm a drummer, Shay.
What are you?
Penis. We had the 5 guys, and we picked them. That was on a Thursday. On the Friday night, the biggest show now was the Late Late Show, right? We'd no track, we'd nothing. The 5 boys just walked on. They'd never been in a TV studio before, and they kind of danced to a bit of a backing track and made a show of themselves.
You can always try and make excuses for that TV show. We can never look back on it and take it seriously. Most definitely not. It's something that was very funny. Not funny at the time, but it is definitely funny now.
Funny? It's plain bonkers. Small wonder Shane felt such a cock.
It was very difficult in the beginning, travelling around Ireland in a white minibus, doing what we called the doorstep tour, because pretty much we were dancing on doorsteps.
All the guys' girlfriends are up at the front of the stage and they're looking at you, you know, and you got the guys throwing up bottles, and I got glasses smashed at me, I got spat at, and everything. For a whole year we went through this.
The missile dodging finally paid off when the sputum-covered quintet released the first of a long line of covers to hit the top 10.
Great song. Always going to be a hit song for somebody. You know, it's an old Osmonds song, obviously.
I think it's the greatest form of flattery when a group like a Boyzone, their first hit record was Love Me for a Reason.
The whole problem with the covers is because people think you don't have your own identity.
I mean, the same arrangement, same dance steps, you know, and even the phrasing of the words was the same.
It was our style that we put into those records, and we made them #1 records around the world.
As long as it's a hit, it doesn't really matter to us. You know, a hit record is a hit record.
What's wrong with that? Elvis and Sinatra never once wrote a song in their lives. Didn't harm them.
Indeed. And sure enough, it wasn't long before the King, Old Blue Eyes and the rest of the gang were turning stars in their eyes into a chart-topping art form.
And words are all I have to take your heart away. But take your time, think a lot, think of everything you've got. For you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not.
I find the success of Boyzone absolutely inexplicable because they have all the blandness of Take That with none of the redeeming, cheeky personalities.
They're not boring. Really, trust me, they're not boring. And the boys are not boring.
We were never that squeaky clean. Some of us smoked, we all had a drink. Some of us had girlfriends, some of us had children, and some of us are married, you know.
No matter what they do, no matter
Tabloid intrusion into the boys' far from boring private lives hit a low point with last year's revelation over babyface Stephen's sexuality.
Stephen wasn't interested in telling anybody because that was his business and his business only.
It did take a lot of courage to do it for myself, which, you know, I don't have a lot of courage, but it did take a lot of guts.
I can't deny what I believe. I can't be what I'm not.
Some people think, you know, because you're gay, you've got to go out there and be political or whatever. That's your choice if you go and do that. But at the end of the day, you can come out and be gay and then just get on with your life. And that's what he's doing, so good on him.
It's a lot of weight off my shoulders now because it's, you know, I can bring Eli anywhere I want. You know, he's down the corridor down there, you know, having something to eat.
I've got something to tell you.
They've survived the knocks and the singing lessons from Ian Paisley. But what's really eating at Louis Walsh's protégés are his regular hints they're about to split.
When the going gets tough, the talk gets going.
Mr. Louis Walsh could do with moving on with the times. If it's true or not true, it doesn't matter to him. It's a story, it's hype, it's publicity. That's all he cares about. That is the problem. And we're just forever correcting ourselves, saying, in the press, recently, there's been a whole load of fucking shite about Boyzone.
The clock is taken away. It can't go on much longer. Ronan's doing his own thing. Stephen's doing his own thing. Keith, Mikey and Shane are all doing different projects. You know, they might get back together and do like X amount of concerts every year. But I think Boyzone as an entity is gone.
The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your...
Well, maybe he's got a point. After all, these days, Ronan's a one-man industry. Singing, managing Westlife, thank you, and being an anchor.
Good luck, God bless you, good night.
Stephen's wearing his solo hat and busy pulling rabbits out of it. While Shane, well, he's the new Andrew Ridgeley.
I would hate to see Boyzone like madness. You know, our status quo, you know, coming out every year, same old crap. No, I would hate that. So we want to go out on top.
And as a million mothers scrape the blue tack from the walls, we leave you with this thought. Even a boy band boy has to grow up someday and have his own career as a singer, an actor, the maitre d' at Burger King. How could the light that burns so brightly suddenly be so dim? Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.